Well, it is official. The best fighter on the upcoming Saudi Arabia Riyadh season card has been revealed. Who is the best fighter on that entire card? Mind you, it's a stacked card in boxing. It's Shakur Stevenson, says Shakur Stevenson. In a brand new interview, Shakur Stevenson claims that he is the best fighter and he's addressing the haters. In this video, that's what I want to talk about, what he said, and of course, give you my thoughts, the real thoughts, the ego thoughts. So I guess let's jump right into it. Subscribe it if you like it. So Shakur Stevenson did a brand new interview with dazn and had
a rocky couple of months. It just seemed like a lot of people just counted me out. They talk bad about me. They act like I'm not this person that I've been my whole life. So fuck them. Care about you, like your family, your mother, my daughter, my shorty. It's a lot of people that have said something, and I remember their faces. I remember like what they said.
And then they're calling the card on February 22nd the best card ever. How does that make you feel that you're fighting on that card?
No disrespect to them guys, but I'm the best fighter. I think that I am what everybody want to see on that card. I think a lot of people say they're not gonna wake up at a certain time or all that stuff. But everybody's going to be watching that shit. Everybody's going to want to see Shakur. A lot of people try to act like Shakur is not must-see TV. But I am must-see TV. I am in a rock.
Wow. So that was Shakur Stevenson in a brand new promotional video for his upcoming fight with Floyd Schofield. My thoughts. Now, I'm not going to turn this into a bashing session. That's not what I do. Shakur is a good fighter. Spoiler alert, he's a good fighter. But the way he chooses to go about certain things, for me, on my channel, I can only speak for me. In the words of Genuine, I can just be me, even though I might be on TV. Same OG. Bro, I'm the same OG. I got to keep it real with you. It's truly bizarre, in my opinion, how Shakur Stevenson chooses to go about certain things, what he says. The question was very simple. It was, and before I get into it, let me keep telling you, I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. You see how I gave you the information you needed straight away, no delay. I don't have like a bloated intro. We just got straight to the bag, right? And I let you know at the front of this video who said what was said, etc. So if you like this format, hit the like button. You know, I'm trying my best to not clickbait y'all, because I could easily do that. You know, give you these bloated intros that don't mean anything, and then at the very tail end, let you know something which, you know, a lot of people be capping in this Sporter Box. I give it to you straight away. So if you like this format, like I said, subscribe, hit the like button. Back to Shakur Stevenson. So the way he chooses to go about things, to me, is a bit bizarre. The question was very simple. February 22nd, how does it feel to be on such a stacked card, basically? And I'm paraphrasing because I let you listen to it. He says, quote, no disrespect to those guys, but I'm the best fighter. I'm what everyone wants to see on that card. Like, I mean, I guess it just sounds insecure. And that's why I keep saying that the insecures. That's the word I'm making up for the Shakur Stevenson fans. The insecures. A lot of what he's doing, it sounds like he's like building himself up or trying to hype himself up. Like, let me think of an analogy. I guess if you're about to do a cold plunge or do a cold shower or jump in a cold pool or jump in a frozen lake with the opening, and you know, and you're anticipating that the water is going to be extremely cold. So you got to do all this, you know what I mean? And like running in place and shadow boxing, and do all this extra stuff almost to hype yourself up because you know what's to come. And you know that water is going to be freezing, you know, Lake Michigan in the winter or something. And in anticipation for that, you got to like almost like overcompensate. For example, if you were going to a donut shop, you wouldn't be like, like you would just get in your whip and go. But when people know there's a daunting task or a task they really don't want to do, they have to like psych themselves out. That's kind of the feeling I get with Shakur Stevenson when he's saying stuff like this, right? I mean, how do you quantify that you're the best fighter on the entire card? That seems a bit extreme. There's other guys with better resumes than you on that card, stuff like that. So it just sounds like you're reaching, basically. Like let's look at the card. Maybe I'm tripping, which I know I'm not. Better Biev and Bivol. Bivol's a terrific fighter. Look at Bivol's resume with the likes of beating Canelo and Zordo Ramirez. Give me a Canelo win over any Shakur win. Name a Shakur win that matches up with Bivol beating Canelo. You know what I mean? Joet Gonzalez, Oscar Valdez, Robson Conceição, the Japanese dude. You know, Daniel Dubois just knocked out Anthony Joshua. Name a win where it was emphatic like that Shakur even has. Joseph Parker's on the card, who just beat Wilder. Of course, Shakur, Floyd Schofield. I'll skip that. Carlos Adames, who beat Derevyanchenko, who's still formidable. Hurt Munguia after that fight. Gave Mbili a pretty tough fight. Injured. Hamza Shiraz, up-and-comer. Virgil Ortiz beat Boachuk. You know. Israel Madrimov went in there toe-to-toe with Crawford and held his own. Josh Buatsi, Callum Smith, Zhele Zhang, Ajit Caballel. So, I don't know. You guys let me know, is it cap or fact with Shakur Stevenson? He's definitely, in terms of skills, he's up there. But some of the other stuff he's saying, like, no disrespect, I'm the guy that everybody wants to see, and, you know, these types of things. I don't know about that. I really don't. And here's the other issue. The other issue is it just sounds like you're hyping yourself up, which I already went over and mentioned. But a big problem I think that fans have with Shakur Stevenson is the chatter, and then the performances don't live up to the chatter, if that makes sense. So he'll talk a good game like, I'm going to stop you, I'm going to beat you down, wait till Thursday, wait till Friday, wait till Saturday, whenever days he's fighting, and then he say, I'm going to step on you. And then he'll put up a workman-like boxing purist type of performance that is not scintillating. And then, you know, he just does so much weird stuff in the media to me. Like 1 minute he says him and Tank are the 1 and 2 guys and the best in the division. And then Tank will say something like disparaging, and then he'll say him and Lomachenko are number 1 and 2. You know what I mean? So it's like, which one is it? He wanted to fight Frank Martin, and Frank Martin was good. Now his whole crew, Ray Ford, Shakur, they're trying to talk down on Frank Martin after Tank got the fight, knocked out Frank Martin brutally, which is something they're not doing in their fights. Even Ray Ford. Ray Ford is like, Frank Martin's a prospect. All right, you move up to 140 and fight him then, if he a prospect. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing the same behaviors from really everyone in that clique. And Ray Ford is a good fighter. I enjoy watching him fight. But you lost to Nick Ball, a domestic, rugged, aggressive guy. You fought this guy, Orlando Gonzalez, who is not nearly as good as Frank Martin, in my opinion. And you hurt him and dropped him and stuff, but you couldn't stop him. Tank is stopping dudes. So it's like levels to what we're talking about, right? So it's just a bit weird from really that whole regime, if I'm being honest. But even back to Shakur specifically, he's talking about he the best fighter on the card. Show us. Show us you're the best fighter in the card. And when this fight was first announced, I was confidently picking Shakur Stevenson. Now I'm withdrawing my prediction, and I'm just going to watch the fight because Shakur keeps scaring me and making me almost like fearful with what he's saying. He got black eyes from sparring, and he's saying this stuff. So make it now official. The person, Ego, who picked Shakur from the beginning because of his experience to beat Floyd Schofield, I'm now withdrawing my public prediction, and now I don't have a prediction because his behavior and what he's saying, it sounds weird, and it sounds like he's overcompensating, and it's making me like unsure. Like confidence speaks volumes without even having to speak. Like if you are who you say you are, just be that and show us. Like Kobe Bryant didn't have to do a bunch of interviews before games and talk about, man, I'm about to drop 81 and then only drop 15 points. What happens is the exact opposite. Kobe Bryant didn't say nothing and he would just drop 81 in your head, splash you. You know what I mean? So I wish it's not just Shakur either. Gen Z, I really wish they would stop with the Dear Diary stuff, the social media stuff, talking so much. You haven't like lived it. Like, I'm not saying he hasn't lived the life of a fighter. He's a Olympian. Most of the time he makes weight, except for Robinson Conceição. I'm not talking about that. But what I'm saying is you don't have enough stripes. You ain't been in the game. You don't have no Floyd Mayweather, Canelo style resume to be saying some of the stuff you're saying. Like, I'm the best on this card. And none of it makes sense to me. Like, for example, Turki Al-Sheikh is in charge with the funding and putting this. He's the organizer, right, of this whole stacked card. If you were truly the best fighter on the card, why are you not even the co-main event? Why are you not the main event? Okay. See, people want boxing ego to be wrong, but I'm not wrong. And deep down in your heart, you know I'm not wrong. I get on here, I hit my points, and then I'm off. And then I'm off the internet, right? You guys just want me to be wrong, and there are going to be people, oh, ego, come on, you're hating. I don't care about none of that. If you are this face of boxing, you're the number one guy in the lightweight division, all these fallacies that Shakur is talking about, you're the best fighter on the card, then why didn't the organizers feel the same way and say, you know what, this is our first fight with Shakur, let's at least make him the co-main event. They didn't do that. They put you as there's the Better Be of Beevil fight, then they put the heavyweights, Dubois and Joseph Parker, and then they put Shakur as the third fight. And really, it's pretty dumb to me because I would have put Virgil Ortiz and Madrimov over Shakur Schofield. That's just me personally as a boxing fan. If I was funding in the organizer for this particular event, I most definitely, because from my estimation, and I could be wrong, but I usually am not, Virgil Ortiz and Madrimov has a greater shot of being a fight that delivers what the fans are hoping for and delivering scintillating action, the dramatics and stuff like that. Shakur, as I've mentioned earlier in this video, what I've noticed from him is the pattern is he will depict all the things that he's going to do. And he has this like chip on his shoulder. Then post-fight, he'll be with Andre Ward and Terrence Crawford in the back talking about what went wrong and why he couldn't get the stoppage. So before, I'm going to stop him. I'm going to stop him. I'm knocking him out. I'll retire if I don't knock out Artem. Frank Martin's a prospect, but then I'm fighting his leftovers coming off a loss, and I'm promising a stoppage, and I can't deliver. And that's why it's funny. I put out a tweet a while ago, or not that long ago, about a month ago, where I was talking about Tank and these dudes like envy Tank, and they want to be like Tank, and their moves keep showing me that. Tank is a real knockout artist, and he doesn't have to oversell it, over push the idea of being that. He just is that. And that's a reality. And you have fighters who are very good, like the Devin Haney's and the Shakur Stevenson, skilled fighters, but it's almost like you're in Tank's shadow. So it has created like an insecurity where now you have to overcompensate and you're like in his shadow. So you have Devin and Shakur almost talking more gangster and more gangster-ish than the actual knockout artist who could produce it. Same with Better Biev. This man, he a illa. You know what I mean? 187 on the mother cop, right? He'll really put your lights out. He don't really talk about it. Shakur Stevenson be like, I'm going to knock him out. I'm stepping on him. He food, putting dinner plates. Show us that with Floyd Schofield. Because to be honest, all that stuff that Ray Ford and Shakur were talking about Frank Martin, he beat Michelle Rivera, right? Like, see, that's how I know y'all don't know boxing. That's how I know that a lot of people who are just barking and you accept stuff from fighters, they don't do this to me because they know I really know what I'm talking about. So let's break something down. And it's not about a bunch of triangle theories, but I got to use one here. Frank Martin beat Michelle Rivera, who tested positive after the fight. So similar to Haney Garcia, he tested positive. Frank Martin had a dynamite performance, clearly beat him, and dropped Michelle Rivera. Michelle Rivera pretty easily beat the Renee Yeron dude, who Floyd Schofield later fought, and Floyd Schofield just got dropped by him. So if we're going prospect for prospect, Frank Martin is beating a guy on PEDs with a banned substance who had already beaten the guy that just dropped Floyd Schofield. Even though he won the fight, he had a difficult time. So for Shakur, I'm expecting a whole lot. I'm expecting a whole lot from him in this particular performance because you can't just keep talking. I told you, I come from sales. Before I was doing boxing, I've done a lot of other things. And some of those jobs, most of those jobs involve sales. That's why your boy Ego is a salesman. I know how to sell it. That's just what it is. It's my background. There's a statement my manager told me in sales that is very common. He didn't create it or anything. And everybody in the industry and business pretty much knows it. The statement is, you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, but instead to underpromise and overdeliver. Meaning you talk less about what you can do for the customer and stuff, and then you overdeliver by giving them more than what you promised them, right? An example of this would be, let's use a restaurant. Let's say there's a happening spot in the Bay Area and it's packed. It's Saturday, it's packed. Somebody comes in, no reservation. They want a table for two, right? And you know it's super busy. You don't know when the table will free up, but you're pretty much at capacity. You give them, they're like, how long will it take? You give them the maximum amount of time, overshoot it. Like say, hey, it's going to be an hour until we have a table. You want to give yourself that window, right? Now you said an hour to get a table. We'll text you when your table is ready. And they say, cool, deal. Now they're on the waiting list, freeing up, waiting for a table to free up. If they can accommodate you in 15 minutes, now this restaurant is on point, right? Because they've done you a favor. They told you it was going to take an hour, and then you got sat and seated, you and your date, in 15 minutes. So the restaurant becomes the hero because they told you an hour, and 45 minutes sooner, they were able to accommodate you. The flip side of that is if they told you, we'll seat you in 15 minutes, and it took an hour because they weren't being realistic and she felt pressured because the customer's like, come on, you don't have another table, you don't have something sooner. So you cowered down to the customer and say, oh, it's only going to take 15 minutes, knowing you were packed to capacity and it took an hour. So now the customer is going to be heated and want free food or leave you a negative Yelp review because you told them it was going to be 15 minutes and it took an hour. I'm giving gems to this young generation of fighters. You under-promise, over-deliver. Shakur Stevenson will over-promise and under-deliver, which is not what you want to do. In the restaurant, Shakur is telling the couple, we can seat you in 15 minutes and it takes an hour. Don't be that guy. Be the person that said it's going to take an hour, and then if something comes in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, etc., now you're the hero because you told them an hour and you gave yourself that cushion. So I'm imparting knowledge on this young generation because I've been in the game. Whether people respect YouTubers and boxing YouTubers, I don't really care. I'm here to do a job. I come for one thing and one thing only, and that's to get busy and give my opinions and create content. I ain't come to poly, make a bunch of friends. I come to work, and that's what I do. So instead of saying this stuff, I'm the best fighter in the card, just show us, bro. If you're going to knock someone out, you're going to knock them out because you're only setting yourself up for failure, especially with this Schofield, if you don't do what you say you're going to do, because then now that's what your reputation becomes. It's almost like the boy who cried wolf. It's like, I can't believe that Shakur Stevenson is going to get the knockout because he said it if he keeps not getting the knockout. So I feel fighters in general, I get it. Part of being a fighter is to be like almost a bit derelict and defiant. You want to be defiant, against all odds and go against. I get that. But there still has to be some kind of boundaries and limitations to that. If you keep promising knockouts and not delivering it, people are going to be off it. And now you're saying, people say, oh, they're not going to wake up early to watch my fights. I mean, truth be told, based on your reputation of the excitement for your fight, some people may not do that with this card being in Saudi Arabia. That's just the reality of it, because they trusted you to look good at Sharp versus Nakatila, and it was rather boring. They trusted you in the Edwin De Los Santos fight, and you couldn't figure out a way to engage and fight less negative to the point where it's satisfying. They trusted you were going to step on Artem Haratunian, and then you really didn't do that. Like, you beat him for sure, but it wasn't this would you rather watch Tanks finish him with Frank Martin or rewatch 12 rounds of Nakatila and Shakur, 12 rounds of Artem and Shakur, 12 rounds of Edwin? The choice is very simple here, and y'all know it. My last real big gripe here is this new generation. There's a lot of fighters that have like a chip on their shoulder. And trust me, there's other fighters in the past that fought with a chip on their shoulder. This new generation is something different because they're acting like I'm the most hated, but it's not that you're the most hated. I'm not saying you don't get any hate or criticism. It's what you're doing. There's a fine line between like being hated for no reason and being critiqued and you're bringing on the hate. Like, I'm not even just trying to be funny, but using boxing ego. I'll talk about boxing every day, and then you got fools in the comment section like, boxing ego sucks. Why is he wearing glasses? Oh, look at this, and blah, blah, blah. And, he's broke. He live in his mom's basement. All types of stuff like that, which don't have nothing to do with anything we're talking about, right? Yeah, I don't care. If you believe any of that stuff, cool. Have at it. It's the internet where you can be who you want to be and believe whatever. But that's random hate. That's random hate. People, I'm not complaining about my finances. You complaining about it. That's hate. Shakur, a lot of Shakur and some of these other fighters, they're classifying it as hate and saying everyone's hating, but you're bringing this on by how you are acting. It's not like, oh, people just hate you and don't like you, and you're trying to make it like everyone's out to get you. It's your demeanor. It's your lack of fulfillment of some of the stuff you're saying. It has nothing to do with Like, I really have no issues with anyone in boxing, you know, let alone a Shakur. But it's the internet. People aren't going to forget what you said. You said Tyson Fury would devastate Muhammad Ali, and then they got a guy who's the same exact height as Muhammad Ali, born on the same exact day as Muhammad Ali, you know, in Usyk, and he can't even beat him. But then you're taking a black legend and a boxing icon and saying Tyson Fury would have trashed him because he's too big. Okay, that guy's the same stature as Usyk, and he can't get past him. So it's like, you brought that up. People get mad when you remind them of what they said. Boxing ego, I never get mad when you guys tell me something I said, whether it was right, wrong, good, bad, or indifferent. I don't care. If I said it, hold me to it. But as we know, I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. So hold me to what I said, because most of the time it comes right. So my accuracy rating is stupid. I don't care if you hold me to a standard of something I said. If I said it, I meant it. Whether I'm right or wrong, it'll be shown. And most of the time it's right. So I don't care. However, if you're a con artist or you're frequently wrong, those are the people who aren't going to like it when you keep bringing up their past statements. They want to hurry up and move past it. So that's my advice to Shakur Stevenson. As far as him being a good fighter, absolutely. As far as being the best fighter on a stacked card, it's kind of just a weird statement. Why'd you even say that, bro? Like, what do you gain from that? Because you already know the comment section's finna chew you. And I don't know what they're going to say on my video, but I posted it on all my social medias, what he said, because I report the news, and, you know, we'll see. So good luck to you on your next fight, but it's like, less talk, more action. We unpacked. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego Unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack.